Hi everyone, Ryan here from PhotoshopIsEasy.com, where we try to make learning about Photoshop as easy as possible. To be honest, it's probably a lot easier than you think. So today we're going to be bringing you a tutorial where we take some text and we apply some effects, and it gives it like this ancient iron type look. Think about something that you see like from the Viking time period or even the Vikings TV show. I know they had a movie about that. I never ended up checking it out, but I heard it was decent. Or to be perfectly honest with you, I kind of think it looks a lot like the text from Game of Thrones, like from the logo. So it's really cool. You can be really creative with it. There's just so much that you can do. So let's jump right in and check it out. All right, so let's jump right into it here. Now we're starting out with a nice metal background. I mean, you can technically go with anything that you want here, but I think that based off of the type of text that we're using and the way that it's going to end up looking, something like this really kind of adds to the overall image. So, and there's a lot of places that you can get it. There's some pay sites that offer really good stuff, and there's also some free stuff online, so feel free to look around a little bit. To be honest with you, I can't really remember where I grabbed this one. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to want to choose the font type. So we'll go over here, choose font. Now for this one, I'm using Old English Text. You can use whatever you want, but I think that it fits well. It's going to give it a nice overall image. The look's great for what we're doing. So we'll click here. Now I also chose a 72-point font. I've got black right now, but we're going to end up changing that later on the color. So let's type out our word. Beowulf. Not sure how many of you are familiar with that from the poem or the movie, but it's pretty cool, and I think it really fits what we're doing here. So I thought it'd be awesome to give it a try. So you can see it's not really it's not centered. So the first thing we're going to want to do, choose the move tool, click Control A. Then we're going to want to choose our line tools. We've got one here for align vertically, and this one here which will align us horizontally. That way Photoshop takes care of it for us, and we know that the text isn't off center. Click Control D. That's going to deselect it for you. Alright, now we start to get into the cool stuff. You can see it's just some basic black text. Obviously, that's not what we're looking for, right? Anybody can do that. So we've got the text layer highlighted. We're going to choose the effects button, and we're going to start out with pattern overlay. Now we're going to click on this thumbnail right here, and it's going to give us these different options. And these are just, I guess the best way to classify them would be like they add like a texture along with different color and stuff. So the one that we're going to go with is right down here, textured tile, and we're going to choose OK. Well, actually, you know what? We're going to go right over to bevel and emboss. So we've got that chosen. You can see we've got the preview checked. Now let's go over here. We're going to take bevel and emboss. Style is going to be inner bevel. Technique is going to be chisel hard. Depth is going to be 140%, and all this varies. So this is gonna make a difference based off of the type of text that you're using, how big the image is, how big the text is, different things like that. So feel free to experiment. Right? This is just a template. It's not written in stone. It's not a law. Okay, you can do what you want with it because it's all about the way things look. So we're choosing 140% on there. Direction up. Size 250 pixels. We've got an angle of, now down here in shading, we've got an angle of negative 117 degrees. And what that does is, you can see this is showing us what it is here. And this dot in the center would be the text, and this dot out here is showing us the light source. So it's the direction that the light's shining. And you can see from our preview over here, if the light's coming in from this direction, it's why you're getting the darkest shadow over here and a slightly lighter shadow over here. So we'll uncheck global light, altitude 42 degrees. Down here we're going to go highlight mode of soft light. This will be the color of the highlight. We can click on that, and for this one, it plays nicely with the pattern overlay that we chose. We're going to go with FFD 387. Click OK on that. Shadow mode of multiply, with our shadow being black, and an opacity of 75%. We're going to go over here, check the contour box. From there, we're going to drop down to inner shadow. You can see already a nice change is being made. All right, blend mode is going to be multiply, opacity 75%, angle of 30 degrees. On here, we're going to make sure we want to keep global light checked. Distance 0, choke 0, and a size of 42 pixels. We'll go over here, we'll choose drop shadow. Blend mode multiply. Opacity on this is only going to be 50%. This is actually adding the shadow behind the text, so it gives it a little bit of depth, right? It makes it look I don't want to use, like, say 3D effect. That's kind of that'd be pretty drastic, but it's in the same vein, somewhat similar to that. Looks like it stands out a little bit, and it drops that shadow on top of the background. So we've got a distance of 20 pixels, spread of 0, and a size of 15. And again, if you play with these, you can see how things are going to change. So check out, oh, we had 20 on that, 15 on the size. All right, then we'll click OK on that. Now some people will turn around and they'd say, oh, that's okay, looks great. All right, you can see how it is here. It gives us slightly the effect that we want. Looks pretty cool. However, that's really not it. It's not all said and done for us. Now you can sit there and you can play with those effects on the shadow that we looked at, right, on the drop shadow. The distance, the size, the spread, and it's going to mess with the shadow a little bit, and it's going to give it a different look. But ultimately, you're a little bit limited on what you can do. So one of the ways that I found that's actually pretty cool on how to change the shadow effect is by creating another layer and then messing with the shadow that way. So make sure your shadow, so what we'll do is make sure your text layer over here is highlighted. We're going to hit Control J. That's going to make a copy of it for us. And the first thing we want to do is, we can see it copied all of the effects down here. We're going to hide every one except for the drop shadow. So go ahead and click those eyes, or the eye that is next to those effects. And when the eye is gone, that means you no longer see it. So we've still got it on drop shadow. The other three are gone. Now, not exactly what we're looking for here, but that's all right. We take this fill, drop that down to 0, bang. We can see we've got the text back that we're looking for. That's pretty good, but not quite yet. Double click drop shadow, opens this up for us. Now on here, we want to drop this down to 50%. We want the angle to be neg 155. Got a distance of 20 pixels, spread of 0%, and a size of 15 pixels. Click OK. Boom, and there we are. Great way to take some text, add some awesome effects to it, gives it like an ancient iron type look, wrought iron maybe, something that could be used for, I thought it fit well with the Beowulf, an Old English poem. It could fit well for anything that you're doing with, maybe with Vikings or something like that. This should have been the text that they used on that Viking show, right? It would have been awesome. It would have looked really good. Not that theirs doesn't, that's fine, but it's just one of the ways that you can really tweak text and change things and give it an awesome effect depending on what you're working on. So hope you really enjoyed the tutorial. Make sure to keep checking us out. Click the subscribe button. We're going to be putting out tutorials all the time. There's going to be all different kinds of things we go off of. So tell us what you think in the comments below, and also in the comments, don't be afraid to let us know what else you're interested in and what you're looking at. Some tutorials that you'd like us to give and stuff. Have a great one.